When he was re-elected as president of the European Council in 2017, Donald Tusk said, "In times of uncertainty, nothing is more important than freedom, human rights, respect for human dignity, and the rule of law." In his 8 years in power, Jaroslaw Kaczynski and the Law and Justice Party he founded undermined every one of those principles. Now Tusk, who served as prime minister from 2007 to 2014, has returned from Brussels to save Poland's hard-earned democracy. Can he rescue Poland from the brink? His continuing battle with Kaczynski could be a bellwether to see if the world can rebound from 2 decades of declining freedoms. Law and Justice won the 2015 parliamentary elections as part of the nationalist, populist contagion that's been spreading across the globe. Although the economy had grown steadily under Tusk, voters perceived economic stagnation and inequality persisted. As party leader, Kaczynski portrayed Law and Justice as the protector of Polish traditions against the moral decay of liberalism, especially the migration and refugee policies of the European Union. It's important to note Law and Justice did do some good. Their 500-plus program significantly reduced child poverty. Whether you see it as a positive or not, they increased social welfare spending, which had been historically low in Poland relative to its European neighbors. The economy grew steadily under their watch. But our concern is with the health and the independence of the institutions that sustain democracy. And on that front, Law and Justice has an abysmal record. Under Kaczynski's leadership, they enacted a series of laws that weakened the Constitutional Tribunal, which ensures the constitutionality of Polish laws. They also weakened the National Council of the Judiciary, which safeguards the independence of courts, and the Polish Supreme Court. Thousands of Poles turned out to protest these changes. These judicial changes were so bad that the EU withheld millions of euro from Poland in 2023, along with Hungary. We'll get to them another time. In 2020, hundreds of thousands gathered across Poland to protest after Law and Justice tightened what were already the most restrictive abortion laws in Europe. Legal abortion for cases of rape, incest, and risk to the mother's life were limited. Law and Justice also established a national media council to control public media and gave themselves power to pick television and radio leaders. They used defamation lawsuits to intimidate journalists, and they used their control over state media to bias reporting prior to elections. They changed the rules governing the appointment of the Electoral Commission and packed it with party loyalists. In 2023, Polish voters came out in droves to reject these policies. It was the highest voter turnout since the communist regime fell in 1989. And it gave us hope that the battle against tyranny might yet be won. A coalition led by the centrist Civic Platform Party won the majority in parliament, and Tusk was once again appointed prime minister. He quickly went to work. In February of this year, the Polish government approved changes to remove political influence over the National Council of the Judiciary. Tusk has also been aggressive in attempting to restore freedom of the press. He liquidated major public media outlets and replaced their top management. He is trying to circumvent Law and Justice's National Media Council, but court judges loyal to the previous administration are blocking his efforts. Tusk has since launched plans to restore the rule of law to EU standards, including restoring the independence of the Constitutional Tribunal and the Supreme Court. Tusk still faces an uphill battle to pass the reforms. Any new laws could be subject to review by the Constitutional Tribunal, which was packed with Law and Justice loyalists. And Law and Justice still holds the presidency, as Andrezj Duda was elected to his second term in 2020. The president has the power to veto legislation, which requires a 3/5 majority to overcome. Tusk doesn't have it. And Kaczynski's attacks continue. He had already accused Tusk of being partly responsible for the 2010 plane crash that killed his twin brother Lech without offering evidence. Now he is comparing Tusk's pro-EU policies to Hitler's. But Tusk's plans have already pleased the EU. In February, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced the release of €137 billion to Poland during her visit to Warsaw. You might not think of Poland as an influential country, but their efforts to save their democracy could be a beacon to the world. We'll know more in 2025 as Tusk's Civic Platform Party seeks to regain the presidency. In the meantime, stay tuned here for updates.